Hello there, once again welcome to our program and our channel. My name is Hamza Rubama and I am here to share with you what we go through in planting what we call watermelons here in Africa, wilderness of Africa, wilderness of villages in Africa, and how we do come up with some of these events and activities. So with me here, I'm in a garden of watermelons. It's approximately 1.5 acres, and these watermelons are called Anita 1 F1, and they take approximately 85 days to 90 days. Some can even go as far as 80 days, so depending on the care you've been giving them. Some even can go beyond 95 days, but at least in the range of 75 to 95 days you should be ready to harvest the watermelons. So with me here, allow me to take you through some of the activities we do. Firstly, we can soak the melons. We soak them into water to help the seeds open up their apical very fast. Then they bring out those protrusions of their growing nodules, and then they can easily come out and penetrate the soil. When you do that, the seeds can easily come through the soil rather than being in the soil for a longer time without germinating. So when you soak them into the water, they germinate very fast and then they can come out of the soil. So within a period of a week, you will see that the seedlings, the seeds have actually germinated and they have come out of the soil, and then they start producing leaves, 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves, 5. Then later on, you know, it's a creeping plant. It begins to start creeping around. So if watermelon starts creeping around, we start applying what we call fertilizers. The standard fertilizers we have, depending on the potassium and nitrogen that we need to add in the soil, they depend on the different companies that you can approach that produce these fertilizers. So we apply these fertilizers. One of the code fertilizers we know is NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and K stands for, forgotten the other chemistry notation, which stands in for the K, but at least NPK stands in for nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and potassium. K is potassium, I've remembered. Now, those 3 nutrients are very vital. So you apply them when the melon starts creeping around. The moment the melon starts creeping, you apply the fertilizers, and therefore, within no short time, the melon is going to start flowering. We shall show you some of the flowers, as you've seen around. We are going to show you flowers. We shall show you the fruits. They begin flowering, they begin fruiting, and when they begin fruiting, they have enemies that come around to distort their peace and their patience. And their enemies are none other than some of the flies we have trapped in here. With this is what we call a fly trap. And this fly trap, you see, it has already some flies which have been trapped. That's why it's called a fly trap. It is designed in a way that you open up here and then send in the insecticide, which will kill off these flies, and then these flies will enter through these small holes on the sides, and this, for example, can help us trap these flies. For 1 acre, you need approximately 8 of these fly traps to help you prevent these enemies, the pests and the insects that come and then try to inject their sap into the watermelon, and then it will go bad, it will go rotten, then it will stop growing, and then you'll be at a loss as a farmer. But in Uganda, here in Uganda, we call it Kalalankuma. So if you're watching from Uganda and you know the English version of Kalalankuma, please help us drop the name of that fly in our chat section so that people in the entire world can get to know what that fly is made up of and what's called botanically, because the botanical name in biology, I think I don't have it with me, but I know it in our local language as known as Kalalankuma, one of the most dangerous insects on the creeping plants, on the creeping fruits, which include watermelon, pumpkins, apples. It's very good at destroying them. Even mangoes are affected by some of these Kalalankuma flies. But for now, right now we are here, and our melons are in a space of this. We began with this wing, and this wing is approximately close to 2 months, all of them. Then these others which are going to be on this other wing are still in 1.5 weeks or 1 and 3 weeks, because as we went on progressing, we had to grade them differently, because if you have all of them having the same grade, chances are very high that in case of any serious havoc, a serious weather problem, maybe all of them can be affected at once. But if they're in different grades, then the entire garden won't be. Even
market prices.
Then the entire garden won't be affected. Likewise, also the marketing price. If you have the market and it's coming out all at once, all of them are coming in a poor market season, then perhaps you'll be at a very big loss. But if the market is changing gradually and your melons are growing gradually, then it's better you harvest them gradually, and you meet the different seasons of the market. So also that's another technique to beat the market. Otherwise, it is always good to have your budgetary anticipations right and predictions correctly made. Yeah, let's proceed. As you can see, all here they're showing you that they are trying to grow, and all these are still young. You can see this one as if it's old, but it's not yet older. It's still very young. You can get to predict that it's a ripe melon if you come to the stalk right here. It has its stalk, and its stalk right here has this. I think the biologists will help us in our chat section. If this dries up totally and you see it's dry, then it means the melon has grown and it's ready for harvest. We shall come back here and show you when we are harvesting the melons, how we predict the ripe ones and how we predict the ones which are not yet ripe. So that's one way of predicting that the melon is actually ripe. Then the other way to predict that the melon is ripe is when it spreads out all its zebra demarcations here widely open, and then almost making the bottom flatten out. If the bottom is almost flattened out, then that means it has overexpanded, it's full of water, the volume has increased to maximum, and it is ready for harvesting. Those are the two ways we can use to predict whether the melon is ready or ripe, and then we can have it for harvest and start enjoying our melon as we enjoy them out there at home, in the supermarkets, in the restaurants, anywhere we enjoy the melons from. And trust me, melons are one of the most delicious and beautiful fruits that we need for our skin, our refreshment, if we are dehydrated, melons can play a very good role. And trust me, the more you take care of them, the sweeter they become. Let's continue. Like I've showed you, it's just because of the lesson purposes now, it's just to demonstrate to you. This one is so far above 5 kgs right now, and I'm expecting it to raise as far as 14 or to 15 or 16 kilograms. So it's doing well, it's progressing well. It is a loner right here, but very soon it will be joined by others. Like you can see, it is still spreading in the back, so it shows you that it's still making those lines become bigger until at least the spacings are wide from the black or the dark green to the light green. So if they do so, it means it would have grown. Likewise, also the stalk in front here, it is meant to predict this. Remember, I told you if it dries up, it will be showing, also demarcating to you that the watermelon has fully grown, and with that we shall be ready to harvest it. It's not advisable so much to handle them all the time because they are so naughty. They don't want to be tampered with all the time, so you have to be very careful when handling it, especially for the demonstrations to the farmers, to the workers. When showing them what to do, they have to handle them with care, otherwise they are very delicate specimens here. Like I told you, it's better you first soak these seedlings. So these ones were already soaked and they were just waiting for this demonstration. So I had put them out of the water, and then they can easily bring out the protrusions which start germination. So after they have been soaked for some time, if you have enough time, you can soak them for 2, 3, 4 days until you see them opening up. Or if you've soaked them enough, then they are ready to be planted at any time. So with that, you can bring them into the ground, make our small hole. The moment they start bringing out these leaves, now this is approximately 1.5 days away to start creeping. The moment they start showing signs of creeping, you can come now and start pouring or applying our fertilizers. Remember, I told you we need to apply potassium, phosphorus and nitrogen. So when you apply them, you can apply them at a foot away from the plant, and then immediately within a space of 1 week they will start producing flowers, just like you can see now. This one, this is has already acquired the necessary nutrients, and in that you can see that it's already creeping well, and immediately after creeping it has begun producing the flowers. As you can see them, the flowers are already produced, the melons are already coming out, and we have now to make sure that we protect them from the calancumas, which I've mentioned earlier, which play a good role in destroying the fruit. So furthermore, they can always proceed and then start bearing fruits just like you see these ones, and then with that we can proceed over and over with time and wait for them to reach their days. But also remember, every week we need to spray them. Okay, so I think I've taken you through what it takes to come up to this point of having a farm like this one for watermelons. And please, like I've said, they need constant taking care of. They need love. These are part of passion, or fruits which need passion and plants which need passion. So every time you have passion for them, they will always give you what exactly you want. So those who are interested, you can always inbox me on some ideas on how to have watermelons well designed and well framed and well arranged, and then have your output or your harvest a success. And remember that in case you want us to share something else on any other program on one of our channels, please allow us go into our chat section, hit our like button, then go and say something that you want us to talk about in the aspects of farming. We can talk about animals, we can talk about cows, we can talk about goats, we can talk about plantain, we can talk about coffee, we can talk about sugarcane, we can talk about pumpkins, passion fruits. Mention it. We have a lot of things we cover that we can help you out with, especially those people who are saying they have a problem with going out and then see how they can make money from farming. We even can talk about trees, we can even talk about pastures for animals. So there are so many things we can share with you so that you don't sit back home. As you know, we Africans, one of our backbones is agriculture. One way we can stay rich, one way we can grow rich, we can develop, is if we still develop what our parents had before, and then we advance with the latest we have today. The technologies, the monies, the everything. If we first develop what we had before, it will be very easy for us to move forward, yield a successful harvest of watermelons here in Uganda at Big Osil.